Hello. Good morning, everyone. Praise the Lord. Welcome to our talk show here at New Eden Church in our quarantine studio. We are so happy. We are so glad, all the people watching us. Thank you so much for watching us. Now, let me tell you something. In this show, we ask questions to Doctor. In the house, we have Dr. Bishop Ivan Mulepi. Is one going to answer our questions. So please, the viewers who are watching us, you can send in your questions, you can comment, you can like, you can share this video, you can open up a watch party, you can watch with your family. And in the house, we have youths. Let me give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to us and what they do in New Eden Church.
Thank you so much, TL Masse. I'm so much privileged to be part of this youth talk show. I'm Kizza, the team leader Mulepi Ministries. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you, TL Masse. I'm so blessed to be here this morning. I thank everyone who has come here, and my name is Habibarut Nambozo, the Secretary to Overseer's Office. Please tune in, you'll be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, our host. I'm Regan Stephen Oboja, the name of the Mulepi Ivan Ministries. And I guess for purposes of being audible, you allow us to take off our masks. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being part of this talk show. Now, in the house, we also have Dr. Bishop Ivan Mulepi. He's our mentor. He has mentored us to be what we are right now. Let me give him a chance to introduce himself to you, our new viewers.
Mulepi, Hirome, Ivan, Elly is my name. I was listening to the women talk show and their volume was very minimum. It is my prayer that the youth become exceptional.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So when you talk about removing the mask, I hope it correlates with it. Because the mask is important. I hope our host will inform the people how it is important to put on masks. But I'm glad and happy to be here on this youth talk show. And ready to be circumcised.
Thank you so much, Muse. We are really humbled. We don't take it for granted that you're here. It's such an honor to have you in this place. Now, like I told you, the talk show is all about asking questions to Doctor, and he is going to answer our questions. So please, the viewers, you can send in your questions. Doctor is here. Just be free with him. Be frank. He's here to answer any question. Don't be afraid. Don't shy off and say, I can't ask this question. No, you can ask your question, any question. He's a father, he can lead you. We don't come here just to ask any question, but we lead a youth outside there. You are able to know what you're meant to do, and also you are in some circumstance and you don't know how to get out of a problem. Please ask a question. Doctor is here. Don't be there dying with something and you think I'll get a solution one day. Here is the time. Most of you, this is an opportunity to talk to Doctor. You have been saying we miss Doctor a lot. Please, he's here. You can send in your question. Maybe you want to greet him. Then it is fine. So we are going to start asking him questions. Be part of us. Please follow this show. Share it to your friends. Bishop, we go through a lot. Someone, like a person hurts you a lot, but the Bible says we forgive. But again, people say forgive and forget, but actually we don't forget. You can actually remember something that someone did to you which is terrible. How is that word connected, like forgive and forget? Actually, we don't forget what a person did to us. Can we actually forget it?
Okay. There's a story there in the Bible of a man who asked his master to forgive him the debt that he had. And the master forgave him. But also there was another one who was, he was also demanding money. Now, I want us to read that story because that story is going to answer this question.
Yes.
I understand when you talk about the forgetting. By the way, if you forget also, I would be shocked because it means that the faculties within you don't work. Like the memory, it doesn't work. So I would be afraid and say, this one has forgiven me and forgotten. Then the mind, because I know it is like a madman or somebody who can forget, isn't it?
Yes.
But a normal person forgets. But I want to show you this story. I wonder whether control room is already ready. The Bible is very clear. It says, and then he was being demanded money, and he went to the master and asked him, please forgive me. And the master forgave him, cancelled his debt.
Yes.
When he went back home, he met also the one that was demanding him. And the other one asked him to forgive. But he didn't. Then the master heard, and he said, me, I forgave you, but for you are not forgiving. Then he came. Now, I want you to understand, because you bring up a very important topic of forgiveness.
Yes.
I want you to understand that there are certain things that God leads us into because he wants to teach us the power of forgiveness.
Yes.
You see, there's also, all of us as youth, we start with this self-righteous attitude whereby you say, I can't believe this happened. This is the best way to do things. Me, if it was me, how can I do such a thing? I can't fornicate. I can't. Me. That's where we start from.
Yes.
But then again, it is another thing to meet the reality of life. You find yourself and then they ask you, what happened? And you cannot explain. But now, the point here is you cannot forgive unless you are feeling the forgiveness of another person.
Yes.
That's the power that makes forgiveness consistent. That's why you need to learn how much God has forgiven you. That in itself makes you to forgive others. There are things that God would have really dealt with you. There are things that God would have exposed you in. But he chose to keep quiet. Is he a fool? No. Because he's teaching you the power of forgiveness. So we forget, not because it is easy to forget. We forget because we are remembering our own forgiveness. We forget because we are remembering our own forgiveness. The fact that we were forgiven, that's what makes us forget.
Yes.
That whenever you feel that unforgiveness coming, you just remember how you were forgiven and you are free.
Thank you so much, Bishop. Dear Rachel.
Thank you so much, Mzee. Mzee, I have a question about the youth out there. You know, when we are growing up, you always have this desire that I get married, and in most cases, they always say that when you get married, when you're still young, you enjoy the marriage more. So, Mzee, I want you to clarify on that.
When you are old, you don't.
You don't. Time has really gone. So, when you are a youth, the real desire at that age.
Now, then we need to discuss what enjoyment is. Because
what do they exactly mean by they enjoy things?
Because as far as I am concerned, enjoyment has no age, nor does it have formula. Enjoyment is discovered, and you find that you are enjoying it.
Yes.
Again, you see, enjoyment is discovered. Enjoyment is not worked for. You just discover that you are enjoying. You see, like you can cook food, but the sweetness is to be discovered. It's not a guarantee that the food you have cooked will necessarily be sweet, isn't it? But you just discover and say, hey, haven't you eaten certain particular cassava? And there is one which is so good. And then there is another one which is, I thought all is cassava. So enjoyment is like that. You just discover and you say, this thing is so enjoyable. I didn't know. So the issue of tagging things to youth, to old, may be misleading.
Yes.
Because they are all cassava. But why is some more sweeter than the other? They are all jackfruit. But you find that there is some which is more sweet than the, to even shock you, it can all be meat. They are all cows. But there's a certain kind of meat you eat. Have you ever eaten? There's a certain kind of meat you eat and you feel it from the premolars and you feel the sweetness. So the issue is you discover that enjoyment. But if we tag it to age, if we tag it to situations and circumstances, it is that. But I also want us to understand that the sweetness of something is dependent on how God has given you the blessing in it. That's why there is a lot of controversial things. That when you find what is sweet, you don't ever again have to look for its protocol, its order. You just simply live that sweetness. So although it's good for a youth to get married when they are young, but they must also understand that that calls for responsibility.
Yes.
because you are going to close out some years of discovery. You are going to close out some years of because it would have been good that sometimes you take time to discover really what you want. Eh? And sometimes when you're in marriage, it means that there are things that are completely off the table. You can't get into that. You can't get into that. You start, if you are going to get married early, you must understand that you also have early responsibility. If you are the kind that shuns early responsibility, I am thinking that it's going to be a very big problem. Because yes, the dating and the sweetheartness does not again occur well in marriage. Because in marriage you not eat chips and chicken. In marriage they may not send you gifts. In marriage it's another reality there. So that reality you must be ready for it.
Like Mzee, you told us that you became a senior pastor at 25 years.
That's why I missed a lot of things.
You got into responsibility
Very early, yes. And by the way, that has an effect on a person, except when God helps you. You find that you missed the process. When you miss the process, you need grace to catch up with the other part. Otherwise, there was too much responsibility on me that was put on me early. I started to look after very old people. They used to call me Mzee. And now, whenever somebody calls you Mzee, you just have to humble yourself. You remember how the Mzees are, and then you humble yourself. And sometimes the youth in you can go wild. But then you remember that you are Mzee. And so, but much of that life opens you up to acting. It opens you up to drama. And nobody, every good drama has an end. But you find that your drama is not coming to an end.
Because you're even growing.
Because you are even growing. But then you find that there's something you have missed. At a very tender age, I never saw what many youths see. I became a senior pastor very, very early. And many things were locked off me. I never was given an opportunity to try out this, to try out this. Immediately it was dependent on me now and obligated on me to start doing serious things. You see, I couldn't joke, I couldn't put on a short, I couldn't. So all this is something that you must understand. That if you get married early, you expect that responsibility.
And is there something as the right age to get married?
No, there's not something like the right age of marriage. There's the right person.
So you can meet the right person early.
Early or day. So I don't believe that there's a right age for marriage. I believe there is a right person. Because you see, I may marry early, but if you marry the wrong person, it will all come to nothing. If you marry late and marry the wrong person, so I don't think there's a right age. I can get married at 90 years. But if I'm married to the right person, 1 year with this person will be better than 40 years with the wrong person. You see, spending 1 day with the person you love is more than spending a whole year with the person you don't love. Don't you see, even minutes, when you are in the presence of somebody you love, there is even the adrenaline in you changes. No wonder you even become beautiful. There is something that flows within you. But every time you are in the presence of hatred, you are fighting, you lock yourself. That's why when a woman gets married to a man that hates her, the face changes and begins to become ugly. I mean, but when you marry to, you know that you are loved. There is this beauty that comes, because beauty is in the feeling also. When you feel loved, the muscles relax, these wrinkles disappear. You find that the milky face comes because you're enjoying that.
You're all smiling.
You're all smiling all the time. Somebody makes you laugh. Have you ever been in the presence of somebody that makes you laugh naturally? You forget this one. You feel so good. You miss that presence because you laugh, you enjoy. But now here's a situation whereby, so I believe, back to your question, Reverend, there's no right age for marriage, but there is a right person.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Mzee, like there's this thing of girls, mostly girls. I know even boys do it, but then girls mostly. Like there is this thing, they've grown up and then they're facing this thing of a breast, and then you see them going into some artificial things, and then you hear them, they're like, no, I want to reduce on my size, I feel oversized, I know I'm going to look ugly. Then they end up and go and start doing stuff like go to those doctors, they give them medicine. Then after that, you realize that after gaining the figure just for 1 year, the time they go back, they start coming out with complications and they'd be like, what did I do? They start regretting. Say, how can you help them?
First of all, haven't you ever heard the saying that people don't change when they get money? They just get the opportunity to become whom they were.